Welcome to the Wrestling Fan, the Wrestling Show. I'm the big beefy boy, Shaz Beef. Today I'm joined by my fellow old buck in Morro. How are you, good sir?
Check this.
What's that?
Fur.
Oh, fur, yeah?
Yeah.
Ric Flair and the cashmere. Oh, what's the crack?
Fuck all yourself.
It's cold now.
already.
It's cold.
It is cold.
It's snowing here in Ireland.
It's snowing.
You know,
here
most
in
of,
Ireland.
most of the people that watch our channel, it's mostly Americans.
You get the metrics.
Yeah, I get the metrics. Now, whether that's from the shorts,
Possibly.
and we pissed off a lot of people there recently.
Jeez, we did.
I heard you never fucking came to my defense, though.
I thought I did on one of the...
No, never-
hung you out to dry, as
Yeah,
they
you
say.
hung me out to dry. You're the one that called Seth Rollins dull, and then
I call him dull. I said, he is a dullard.
yeah, and then loads of people started coming, and I had to defend it. I even say in like
You disagree with
that
me.
clip. I was like, I disagree.
Yeah.
but I was the one defending your right to free speech.
That is my right to free speech. And Americans more than anyone should know that, because we know.
Yeah,
They love their free speech.
they love their free speech,
And it's my right to say Seth Rollins is a dullard.
Yeah, but it's their right to also.
I have no issue with them
They
disagreeing.
called us four shits.
Yeah.
Said fatherless behavior.
Yeah, I enjoyed that one
Yeah,
particularly.
that was fun.
Yeah.
One of them called us a weirdo, but they were like a Seth Rollins
It was a
stan
Seth
account.
Rollins Stan account,
Yeah.
which is in
Which
and of itself.
It's the pot
It's
calling the kettle.
weird.
It's
It's
the pot calling
weird.
the kettle. Someone went onto our YouTube channel based off that and started giving us crap. And he does. He's like, no wonder you get no views. I went onto his page. He gets no views. He does stop motion animation for wrestlers, which
Yeah.
I think is cool.
It is cool.
But yeah, lots of angry Seth Rollins fans.
Yeah.
But on TikTok.
And you know what? I think after today, there's going to be more.
This guy. January 6th, what a great day in America, as we all know.
Yeah.
It's Raw on Netflix.
Raw on Netflix.
That's what we're here to discuss. I don't think I could have been more hyped.
I was hyped. I was jacked.
Were you actually jacked?
I actually was. I was
Were
looking
you
forward
actually
to it.
WWF jacked?
I was-
JAKKED.
Yeah. I was jacked.
Ah.
I didn't stay up for all of it.
Because you,
But I stayed up for
did
the
you watch
starter.
a lot of New Japan? I still haven't watched Gabe Kidd
I
and Kenny Omega.
watched hours. I watched it. So this was like the fourth wrestling show I watched this weekend.
Yeah.
I watched a fifth actually. I watched
3 New Japan shows.
2 New Japan shows.
2.
I didn't get the third one yet. So I watched Wrestle Kingdom, I watched Wrestle Dynasty, and I watched the 2 OTT ones from Dublin and Belfast, Dream Before Christmas, and then I watched Raw.
Okay.
And
High expectations based off the back of...
just like, recent storylines being good, recent angles being good. I was a little bit worried about there only been 4 matches advertised, but I thought there'd be more. We'll get to that. And then Wrestle Kingdom itself was a damp squib. It wasn't...
I heard Wrestle Kingdom wasn't great, but Wrestle Dynasty was.
Yes, I wouldn't say like Wrestle Dynasty is not one of the best pay-per-views I've ever seen, but it had 2 absolute highlights.
That's Gabe Kidd and Kenny Omega.
That was absolutely incredible.
And who else?
Takeshi Ishii had a fantastic match. The Gabe Kidd and Kenny Omega one, like, literally reinvigorated every bit of love I ever had for wrestling.
What did you make of the commentator getting some flack and suspended?
So I watched obviously the English.
Was he egregious in his kind of calling Tony a money mark? And
Yeah, like, do you know what? I didn't even really notice it that much. While I thought there was a few times where I was like, do you know what it was? It wasn't that any one thing he said seemed egregious,
the whole vibe.
because it was a 30-something minute match and he just never stopped. It felt like he was doing it the whole time.
Slagging off AEW.
More slagging off Tony. It was like a little bit personal. Now, do I think he should be suspended over it? Probably not.
Yeah, well, is he getting himself over as opposed to getting the story of the match over? This
That's
is something
possibly
Angus
part of
McAnally has actually...
You're a commentator now.
Oh, yeah. I commentated on OTT, one of those events.
I listened to it and you were fantastic.
Was I egregiously bad to Tony Khan in it?
You were more than fair to Tony Khan in the fact that you never mentioned
Never
him.
even mentioned him once.
And you didn't slag off any rival promoters or partnered promoters.
No, didn't slag off anybody.
No.
Angus McAnally, though, what he had said, and he said to me, because I was like, any tips? And Ango is great. Go
He's
check
brilliant.
out
He's absolutely brilliant.
The Dream Before Christmas.
Night 2, Belfast.
The Belfast show is the one I commentated on.
Some
It's
good
on
matches on it as well.
On OTT, on demand. But, he said, get the talent over, don't get yourself over.
Yeah.
He actually recently put out a tweet in regards to Michael Cole and possibly Pat McAfee, mainly Michael Cole, and how grandiose of an occasion Netflix on Raw was, but how subdued Michael Cole was in the first opening half an hour. Because even though there was a lot of backstory and a lot of different things to be told, he didn't take over the...
No, and he had to get a lot of exposition, shall we say.
So he kind of took a back seat and he helped just get what he needed done. The silence. And I even noticed that when I was watching. I was like, oh, Michael Cole's not really...
Yeah,
like normally they cut to the commentators and welcome to Raw and blah, blah, blah.
None of that.
Didn't happen.
Yeah. Like the thing with Chris Charlton on that New Japan show was it was just incessant. And that was my issue.
Well, then, he takes away from the match then.
Yeah, and like you're watching, honestly, like one of like just a truly all-time great match. Like I don't know, I'll have to go back and watch it. But like in terms of the 2020s,
does Gabe Kidd need to stay in? 2020s, we're halfway through it.
I know, yeah.
Does Gabe Kidd need to stay in Stu in New Japan, or is he going to get snapped up?
I think for him personally, he feels like the next guy there.
Yeah.
After that match in particular.
Of course, that's why Kenny was coming.
Do you know what it was really like? It was like WrestleMania 13, Stone Cold Bret Hart. Even like a similar match structure and all.
I was reading about like how Gabe Kidd was doing a lot of New Japan, like Inoki kind of style things.
Actually, what they do, still the magazines are huge in Japan. For those of you who aren't Japanese wrestling fans, they still have a kind of a big magazine culture. And traditionally, after the January 4th Tokyo Dome shows, the winner of the main event will be on the cover of the magazine. So you would expect Zack Sabre Jr. But the image that they chose this year was Gabe Kidd doing the octopus stretch to Kenny, which is Inoki's move. Yeah, and that just came at such a great time of the match as well. It was brilliant stuff.
I have to go my way to watch it.
It's a must-see. It's a must-see.
Yeah, maybe we could do a podcast just on like
I was thinking
New
that,
Japan style matches.
Yeah.
Because like I remember being enamored with, say, Okada and Omega and that whole story that was coming about, and like trying to actually go out of my way now to start watching New Japan.
That's when I started regularly.
Jericho and Omega was the one for some reason that really got me. I was never overly enamored with Okada matches, to be honest with you. I don't know why.
Okada matches, some people find them because he did like have a kind of a formula there for a few years, and they were 40-minute main events regularly. And I think a lot of people just found that to be a certain very like particular style. Yeah. Whereas the Jericho and Omega match, that blended what the Japanese fans would expect, but also us as like North American wrestling fans.
I really like that match. It was the one, and I think something that New Japan need to do now more is to have that kind of Chris Jericho, like to bridge that gap for fans like myself that are fans of that, to be able to cross over into New Japan.
I think
to have that money match, the likes of Jericho.
Yeah, like what I think they should do now is they should do everything they can within their AEW partnership to get as much Brody King as possible.
Brody King, I think Wardlow would be amazing. Hobbs would be great.
Hobbs is another one to be fantastic.
Baron Corbin, get him in.
There's talks of Baron Corbin.
Tom Pestok.
Yeah, I would like to see that. Like, you know what I mean? Because they book big, strong men really well.
Look at Albert, Lord Tensai.
Like, he was in many ways just like a tag guy in WWE, and he did. He never won the IWGP World Title or anything, but he had a decent run at the top of the card, and he was very well respected out there.
Against Lesnar and stuff.
Yeah. Oh, he faced Tanahashi, like,
Yeah.
Like, Omega and Kidd made Tanahashi cry tears of joy. Like, it was insane. Like,
yeah, I don't think it was that. Was it something that Gabe Kidd did or something, or Tanahashi? I remember looking at it going, oh, maybe that he wasn't actually crying about how great of a match it was. It was Gabe Kidd's like, he was a young lion, you know what I mean?
Yeah. No, watch it. Okay.
Yeah. A tribute to Alex Coughlin as well. He was someone
nice.
who I had massive hopes for.
I suppose. What is it? Back injuries, I think. I don't
know. I just heard injuries.
Back injuries, yeah.
Anyway, look, people are tuning in to this not for New Japan.
Yeah.
They're tuning in for an opinion on Raw on Netflix.
Raw. This is Raw on Netflix.
Now, growing up, I remember like these,
Specials.
Raw 1000 episode,
Yeah.
Retro Raw, wherever that
25th
we're
year
called.
anniversary. And,
They're going back to
Night of Legends and
that, and always been like, meh.
They never hit, did they?
They never hit because like they're nostalgia baiting, but they're not doing it well.
Yeah.
Like they're just like, oh, here's Ted DiBiase with the Doink the Clown with Farouk coming in going, damn. And you're like,
Okay. What was the point of that segment?
yeah, what was the point of that? Or you have Finn Balor with the NWO and DX absolutely burying the revival. Like you're just like, who wanted to see that?
Nobody wanted to see that.
Is it are people from the 90s tuning in going, oh yeah, this is class. Here's NWO and here's
They're not, though.
and I thought we were past that.
Well, it's particularly in the Triple H era.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought we're past nostalgia baiting.
Yeah.
Because it was so, for years, it was like bring the part-timers back for WrestleMania and stuff. I thought now they have legitimately.
They've built their own modern legends.
Exactly. They have this roster there now to do it. So I didn't mind too much when Triple H, like, the curtain comes down, Triple H is standing in the ring or whatever and does the intro, right? Whatever. That's fine. Welcome to the Netflix era.
It was a whatever, though. Because my issue with that was like, right, fine. Okay, like you were kind of like whatever. But also, he opened up WrestleMania. He opened up the first night of when NXT went to their new TV station.
Yeah, but they're looking for that. Like, remember for years, anytime they were talking about WrestleMania, you'd have "Welcome to WrestleMania."
Yeah, look, I get it.
They're looking for like these are the video bits and the sound bites that they're going to get and have forever.
Now, if Tony Khan did that on a thing,
Yeah, but Tony Khan has absolutely no credibility either.
He has no ring or like presence on screen.
No,
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like Triple H has that lore and that history. Vince had that voice, even though we didn't know he was like. I'd say Smart Marks knew he was the owner or whatever, but back in the 80s, you had that. He had that
was the voice of the company.
It was presenter feel.
Yeah.
Like Tony Khan doesn't really have that.
No.
Triple H, this is his career almost, his life almost ended. You know what I mean? Now this is his part of him still, being on screen and stuff.
Yeah, he doesn't need to be.
Yeah, but eventually that could lead somewhere. And this is, I gave a lot of
We talked about Saturday Night's Main Event with Kevin Owens stuff,
Yeah, like but what I'm saying is him as an on-air, almost also as an on-air personality could in the future.
I would be surprised if it didn't at some stage.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I give them so much credit to rewarding our attention. So we pay attention to when Triple H is on screen. You pay attention to when Cody Rhodes and Nick Aldis have a little backstage thing on a Friday Night SmackDown going, well, I know that they have a history here.
Yeah.
Like, AEW is built off the back of All Out, which had an NWA World Championship match as was it main event?
No, it was like it was one of they did
But
like three main events.
It was Cody and Nick Aldis, and that was a big match at the time.
Huge match.
So
at
they
the time.
have history. So
remember
I'm like,
they did that 12 pounds of gold documentary on YouTube.
Yeah.
That was
10 pounds
awesome.
of gold.
10 pounds of gold.
yeah. So you're just like, okay, little bits
Little
and
nuggets.
little nugget people in the background and stuff. I felt like Monday night absolutely just shit all over that.
Let's get into like a kind of a brief rundown of the first hour. And then we can, because like I want to say something nice at start.
Okay, just get into it. Let's go. Instead of giving brief rundown, let's just go through it linearly.
Right, so we start with Triple H coming out. He does this is the Netflix era.
Production looks cool.
Production, Shane, like in those first 10, 12, 15 minutes, I was like, holy shit, this is the greatest a wrestling show has ever looked on my screen.
Yeah, it looks super crystal clear.
Everything, it just looked fucking incredible.
We had this problem, or not a problem, but we had this discussion in the WhatsApp saying, I'm a bit wary that it's going to look too crisp. And like what I mean by that is like overproduced.
Yeah.
And you had mentioned the NFL.
Yeah, I said this is before we actually saw anything. Yeah. NFL on Christmas Day, yeah.
But we had talked about like LED signs and, but I really liked the understated entrance and the fans behind it look badass.
Everything looked great.
There's an amazing shot with CM Punk when he's walking out for his entrance and he looks back up. He turns around, looks back up into the fans and the cameras there, and I'm like, that is class.
Yeah, and even on the Rock's entrance, like there was some camera shots there that, like, when it pulled back out to like to show the whole arena, and so the Rock's the second person that comes out.
But like just the good thing is it looked
tremendous.
It looked great.
Yeah.
And then the lights go out.
Yeah.
And you hear this weird cackling and buzzing, and you're like, who could it be? Who could it be? And then you hear, if you surrender. And then
Monster Pop, crowd goes mad.
I was like, we just had Triple H. Well, why are you...
See, I didn't mind that in that moment because I thought, holy shit, we're starting with a big angle.
Yeah, okay.
Did you get me?
Yeah.
It was only when he started giving his... I don't even want to call it a promo. It was a speech.
It wasn't even a speech. It was a meandering nonsense.
Thanking Netflix executives and it goes to them.
Why, like, if you're...
Do that at the fucking after party.
They don't do that in Stranger Things.
Yeah.
You don't have Cooper come out like when they're in the upside down and just turn to the screen and going,
thank you to the
Thank you,
executives
Netflix.
for making this happen.
thank you so much.
Yeah.
I get it, and they're like leaning into
NFL didn't do that.
They're leaning into we're what a heel and baby. This is a show, and that's what we said before. You know, when they had that promo and he was talking about...
Do you remember the day, like that day, earlier that day before, obviously, the thing went live, the WhatsApp group we have, and also another WhatsApp group I'm in, that video went in, the opening video package. WWE released it on their socials during the day, and everyone was like, wow. And I was like, I think it's a great, very excellently produced video, but I didn't like the use of heel and face, and then work and shoes, and a couple of other things. Like, you know, I didn't hate it by any means. I was like, that's not really what I want. And everyone was like, gosh, not in our group, but in the other group, I mean, everyone's like, oh, shut up, basically. You know what I mean?
No, but like it.
So
I think
they're exposing the artifice. And
Yeah,
that's fine.
That's fine, right? But don't actually include it in the show.
Yeah, in the show when you're thanking executives and
but-
the Rock's thing was just like, what was that? It was like do you remember when Vince used to do those quarterly shareholder conference calls?
Yeah.
It was more like one of them than a fucking
But like,
something
why
in a
do we
wrestling
need
show.
to? Right. You want us to invest in this, like all these stories of the universe,
Yeah.
and you're like, oh, you're giving us a wink, wink, nudge, nudge, going like, let's all know let's all get it out there that it's fake.
Yeah, and
All
we're
right?
telling stories.
and we're telling stories. All right, cool, yeah, class. But when the product is on,
Don't do that.
don't do that.
Yeah.
Just don't do that.
And like then, right, like whatever, he thanks the Netflix executives, then he thanks Cody for carrying the company on his back for a year. And Cody's in the audience, front row like a fan, smiling
and the kiss.
and nodding along. And then he says, and say hi to Mama Rhodes for me. And Cody's, oh, you're so funny, Rock. I was like, this is your world champion.
It felt like
He's acting like a dork.
Yeah, but right, fair enough if the Rock is turning because we're recording this before SmackDown. So if Rock has this grandiose plan for the final boss or whatever it is, like you still make Cody look like a dipshit.
And also, if there is a grandiose plan for The Rock doing something later on, the night to do it was Monday night on Netflix.
Yeah,
Not later
like
on.
right, fair enough. Right, so we have to look at it from a few different points of view. Us being like wrestling fans, right?
Yeah.
And I see people slating this online, going, "Oh, you're a wrestling fan. You know, we have to think of the general." No, but we're
This
the people.
does nothing
we
for
were
the
people-
casuals.
We were the people that were watching all along that allowed it to
get
help
there. Yeah, yeah.
get to that
Okay,
situation.
but not
like
only
the
that.
casual. What the fuck are the casuals going
Casual
to pick?
doesn't give a shit. What are
What
they
they
looking
going
at?
to pick up from that? They're going to go, "Oh, cool, The Rock." Okay, what did The Rock do? Nothing. He thanked people.
Yeah.
Okay, why should I
So,
tune in next week?
Like this whole thing of getting like the amount of eyes around the world that's going to be on this product.
80% of the population.
What are we
or
like?
whatever.
Almost 30 minutes in, and nothing has happened.
Yeah.
It's just been a pat on the back for 30 minutes. Like nothing has happened. The two guys from the 90s, early 2000s gave two speeches.
Well, Triple H didn't even give a speech.
No,
He
yeah.
introed the show, and then we got a speech. And we got a speech that is in no way connected.
And not only no way connected to what's been going on, but actively retconned 12 months of Rock storylines.
Yeah, like, well, we don't know. Like, whatever
No,
he
it
gave,
did.
whatever
It
he gave
did.
Cody on Raw
That's gone now.
after WrestleMania, it must have been like, you know, that has to pay off because that was The Rock. Right, this is my thinking. The Rock's movies have tanked.
Yes.
Red one.
Was Mona okay?
Sorry. I apologize. Mona was probably always going to be okay.
Yeah,
But that Red One movie and what he did with the DC universe and tried to bring back Henry Cavill, and then Henry Cavill got the boot and he wanted control of the DC universe and Black Adam and all that stuff.
Yeah.
You know,
all that blew up in his face.
it all blew up in his face, and now he's in WWE. And whatever happened at WrestleMania last year, whatever was going to happen, blew up in his face.
But look at like
The Rock and Roman, and then that blew up in his face big
massively.
time.
And
now he's back in. Like, why? We didn't need The Rock to be there at that moment.
Not in the slightest. My take on this is the first two entrance tunes we should have heard on the show were Cody Rhodes and Roman Reigns.
Either or.
Whatever order. Let's say
Why Cody and Roman? Because they didn't have a match. So
no, like, but yeah. So my whole thing was like thinking Triple H doesn't do his speech. The show opens, Cody Rhodes' music hits. He does a the 5-minute WWE is great. Welcome to the Netflix here. Cody does that. Right? And then that's 5 minutes, and then you go, boom, Roman Reigns music hits, and we do Roman solo.
yeah.
So you get a 5-minute Cody Rhodes, everything is great, corporate shite.
I understand Triple H because
I do get it, and I'm not mad about it, but I just think it's a bit silly.
I think go straight into
Roman and Solo.
Roman and Solo after that, right?
Like,
boom.
the show was on over 30 minutes before.
Or like play a vignette going, right, this is
the
why
history.
this is why they're fighting.
Yeah.
You're just tuning in. Oh, you're in for it now.
This is tribal combat.
These are going to kick the ever
This has
living.
been going on for 4 years, but whatever, like,
Right?
you know what I mean? And there's no rules.
Like Roman comes out, you know, he looks badass.
Yeah, it was Solo came out
Solo
first.
was first, yeah.
So you're first guy in that's an active superstar in the whole Netflix era is Solo.
Yeah.
Should have been Roman. I know they like to do the
Especially because Solo has the Ulafala, so that's like he has the championship.
Yeah.
But when we're getting into the match, and like I don't really comment on like the actual dynamics of a match and stuff. I think generally when we review stuff, it's more storyline, story oriented. And you talked about Okada having a particular style.
Yeah.
This is Roman Reigns' style. This match. This is everything. This was WrestleMania 40. This was interference. This was. But the one thing
we've seen this match 50 times at this
and
stage.
like
and we've seen him do it with people who can bring more out of him.
Yeah. Because he's a heel though.
Yeah, I know, but
now
like,
he's the babyface. Like he
why
ain't
is he still
talking.
moving so slow?
He ain't talking trash. Solo's talking trash now, going, "I loved you. I loved you."
He said it like 100 times. I loved you, dog.
Yeah, wasn't a great match. It looked really bland.
Yeah.
And what I mean by that is Roman and Solo are wearing the same colours.
Yeah.
The ring was black. The ref was in black attire.
Yeah.
All the people who interfered, Tama Tonga, Jacob Fatu, Sammy, Jimmy Uso, Kevin Owens, all in black. Cody Rhodes comes out. He's in dark blue.
Yeah, kind of navy blue, yeah.
And like when you remember wrestling, I would imagine if you're a Laps fan, you go, it was colourful.
Well, like, I suppose you could say The Rock and Stone Cold and Triple H all wore black or whatever, but I don't know, the ring mat was blue at the time.
Yeah,
you know what
like
I mean?
there was colour in it.
Yeah.
I know Raw, like, aesthetic is red and black anyway.
Yeah.
But when you have 1, 2, 3,
7, 8.
yeah, like,
Yeah,
and they're all coming out wearing the same things. You're like, I used to watch wrestling when it was like Coco Beware.
Yeah. Well, they're seriously Laps fans.
Yeah.
They're not, that's not attitude era
But
Laps.
mate, like, do you think what I'm trying to get at is like, and this is something I've said for a while, that wrestling attires, you know, everyone's trying to look cool and stuff in red, and that's why I like white gear. But do you think that was a conscious decision to have?
No.
And what I mean by that is like everyone looked more real. You know, like Roman was in a pair of Nikes.
Yeah, but that's the thing. That's been going on a while now.
I know,
yeah,
but
a lot
like,
of wrestlers are starting to move towards,
you know, sneaker culture and all that is a big
Sneakers.
thing. So do you think fans at home are looking at it going,
well, like Pat McAfee did mention the Nikes.
like this isn't Mantar
Was
and
it-
Damien Demento?
Was
you know?
it product placement?
No, I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is the fans are sitting at home going, I remember wrestling when it was, these just look like lads
Wacky
beating
characters.
Yeah.
Whereas now these are real dudes.
beating the head. Like,
yeah.
that's what I mean. Do you think it was a conscious decision to,
Possibly.
even
I
though
don't know.
that is their aesthetic anyway? So,
Yeah, like it wasn't that different from what we've seen. I just thought like the match itself was just boring, like, you know.
Yeah.
Like it was just very slow, very plodding, and it's like Bloodline matches have conditioned the audience to not care until all the interference happens.
Yeah, I was literally waiting until someone came out,
and like you could see that in the audience, and it was like we got off to like because The Rock got a big pop, and his promo was dull and boring or whatever, and then we get in, and they pop big for Roman's entrance as they always do. But then everyone just sat on their hands until all the interference came.
Because you knew, like,
they're all coming.
and Jacob, you knew they were all coming. Tama is the first one. Then Jacob comes out. Did you see Jacob like slips?
Yeah.
He slips over the tip, but he still like slaps Roman in the face, and then hits him a super kick,
awesome, like,
and then does
the
moonsault.
And also as well, like, why is Kevin Owens involved in that now?
That's what I thought.
Like, Michael Cole tried to cover it by going, they've got 2 years of history and blah blah blah. I'm like, that's ages ago, and there's been no mention of it in a long time.
He also has that with Solo.
Yeah. Solo cost him about 10 titles. Like.
No, Solo cost Drew the title.
Did Solo not cost Kevin one of them as well? I think he
Possibly,
interfered in at least one.
Solo debuted at Clash of the Castle.
Yeah.
And cost Drew the title.
I think he cost Kevin Owens the title after that. But he interfered in a Kevin Owens match.
But yeah, I get Kevin Owens doesn't like Roman, but it just seemed like a way to shoehorn him in.
Yeah, and then by proxy to get Cody. Yeah.
Like, why would Kevin Owens, even though his whole thing is like, you teamed with Cody Rhodes and blah, 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 I hate you and all that, but it's like, it just seemed unnecessary.
There's been very little to no interaction in the previous, 9 months.
Yeah.
Like, we're going back a WrestleMania.
So is it
two WrestleManias
Is it a
ago.
way to lean towards Kevin and Sammy now?
I don't know. Maybe for WrestleMania.
Sammy is like, because when John mentioned that when we were trying to book WrestleMania,
we were like, how do we get there?
Kevin and Sammy. But then I was like, well, Sammy teamed up, but it's the exact same reason why Kevin is going after Cody.
Yeah.
Except it's probably more personal with Sammy.
Yeah, but also it's almost like, well, because obviously at this stage, Kevin isn't beating Cody for the title.
I don't know.
No, he's not. And then
Ladder match. He might do it and then lose at Elimination Chamber.
I can't see him doing that. Like, then what? Cody wins it back a month before WrestleMania and possibly loses it again. I don't know.
I don't think he's going to lose it again.
Depending
but
on his face and
the match itself, fine.
Just like whatever, 2.5 stars. Like,
yeah, it took a while to get into, but
it took so long to get going.
Like, that was the big criticism, and like it's kind of, I like that we don't have to suffer through ad breaks.
Yeah,
which is nice.
Yeah, that is nice.
Sorry, Americans, you have ad breaks. We don't.
But also, it's kind of like, when we were watching AEW Dynamite on Fight TV, and we didn't have the ad breaks.
Picture.
Also, it was we got the full screen.
That's what I'm saying. They had picture in picture in America.
But even when the American ones went to full ad break, we still got the match.
Yeah.
If there was a match on, if it was nothing happening backstage.
I think you said something about Busher, nothing was happening, Jordan. I was like, a few things happened during that tribal combat match that.
But nothing of consequence. Like,
maybe it was the CM Punk and Rollins match.
Maybe, yeah. And it was like, but it was the same with AEW back with the Fight TV era. It was like, right, it's the match in America is clearly on an ad break because they've just totally slowed down and they're just kind of like buying time between.
Yeah.
So it was like, I can check out mentally for 3 minutes.
I didn't think they were doing that in WWE because I thought they would.
The only time I noticed it was the Roman and
I think they
Solo
were conscious
match.
Maybe of us.
International audience, whatever, yeah.
And didn't.
The only time I noticed it was the Roman and Solo match. It was just like what it wasn't that they were doing nothing. They weren't like buying time, but it was just a protracted heat segment.
Yeah.
Or a heat, what do you call that? You're a wrestler.
Heat, yeah. When the bad guy's getting over the...
Yeah, he was just getting, it was just a long heat.
There was a few falsies, false finishes.
The falsies, yeah. I like a good falsie.
A good one.
Roman Reigns is very good at an old 2.97 kick out.
But he comes away as the victor.
Yeah, after 57 people interfered.
He gets the Ulafala.
Yeah.
And then...
The Rock
walks out. So The Rock...
Look, you can't play his music twice.
No, but like, this is my point.
This is the first time we should have heard his music.
This is the first time we should have seen The Rock.
Yeah,
Didn't need to do a promo, right? So now you have him walking out. He didn't do his whole smiley, I'm a good guy now.
No.
You have him walking out. You're like,
I was like, oh yeah, right. He set us up with the promo.
Is he like the height? Yeah, but if he set us up with a promo, I was thinking Cody looked like a dickhead. I was like, oh, and they're going, The Rock's been called a high chief.
Blah, blah,
this
blah.
is what happened around, blah, blah. And The Rock's standing in the ring. He hands him to Ulafala. And then you're like, oh. And then it leaves you going, okay. So The Rock backs Roman. Okay, cool. Yeah. So if a turn ever does happen, you're like, wow, this is mad. Because Roman, I think, needs to be a fecking heel anyway. But so does The Rock.
Better heel, I know.
He's a better heel.
But it was just rubbish.
That's
again.
when like people should have seen The Rock for the first time.
Yeah. Even if, like, right, because I think it's pretty
Even
clear
do a
now.
promo. The last time I stood in the ring with you was in 2000, or last time we did this, 2000 Royal Rumble 2015, and they hated you.
Yeah,
but
look
I
at them
believed in
now.
you. And bad as the High Chief,
And you've
you
earned
are
it.
the tribe.
Yeah, yeah.
Boom. And people are like, oh, cool. All right, that's what's been happening.
Yeah. And, like, yeah, but this was just.
Oh, The Rock's on
like.
TV again.
Yeah. And it was also like, right, it's pretty clear at this stage The Rock isn't working WrestleMania.
Do you think so?
I thought it was abundantly clear. And if he does, it's a change of plan. He's changed his mind.
I don't know. I don't
No,
know.
the way that show went.
A lot of
there's
people were
no
saying
way.
that, but I don't.
There's no way. Like,
But why is he all over these shows? He was on NXT as well,
'Cause here-
giving a
shit,
meandering bullshit promo.
I sat
he
there
doing,
last
Is he
week-
doing a Chris Jericho learning tree thing where
No.
he just does not have absolutely any type of...
I sat there last week and I said it, and people laughed at me. I said there's a power struggle going on behind the scenes between The Rock and Triple H, and the whole first half an hour of this show was the power struggle between The Rock and Triple H.
Because he's after buying more shares, so he's like...
He's
has
like
more-
a head member of the Big Dick Board or whatever. It was patently obvious that there's a power struggle going on.
Batshit insane. I was looking at...
But you're like,
and
fuck,
this is the thing.
The Rock isn't going to be there every week. Why do you care?
And this is the thing. I stayed
you,
up
him.
late. I stayed up late to watch this.
So this is 2 a.m. Irish time.
I had I had work off.
Yeah.
And I stayed up late to watch this, and I was like, okay,
Whatever.
fine, yeah, okay.
Yeah. Now,
and
at this stage of the show, I was like, okay, right.
There's
It's not great so far, but there's 2 hours left.
and then you get the little a little teaser, and you're like, oh, what's this? And then it clearly just comes across the screen, Penta, and you're like, that would have been so much better if I had seen Penta, and you hadn't have told me.
Yeah.
Instead of going, Penta's coming. Hey, Penta's coming. Penta's coming. And I know they used to air vignettes and stuff.
I did it. The Taz one was brilliant, but don't say fucking Penta.
It would have had so much more, like, boom, if we had seen him.
Yeah.
You know?
But sure, look.
But no, you're too busy. You're too busy showing fucking Macaulay Culkin in the crowd.
Oh, is this when we went to, like...
Showing Seth Green. Who gives a fuck about Seth Green in 2025?
There was another one there. It was like that particular one. I think it was after this match. It was like Macaulay Culkin, Seth Green, and somebody else. But like
Bill Simmons.
nobody who had been relevant in 30 odd years.
Yeah.
And then oh my, it was just so. No, it wasn't here. I'll get to it because there's another more egregious one
If you
there.
have Ryan Reynolds sitting there, fair enough.
It's fucking Ryan Reynolds.
Yeah, because he's in like one of the biggest movies last year.
Yeah.
But man, Seth Green.
Timothy Chalamet.
Chalamet.
And his very beautiful girlfriend, one of the Kardashians, whatever she is.
Kardashian Shamamala.
You know, if you had a Kardashian and a Chalamet, stick them on the screen.
But like the way they did showed wrestlers as well, and they're like, oh look, here's Rey Mysterio sitting there.
Here's Braun Breaker.
And
how about Braun Breaker does a spear on somebody?
yeah, like for people that are just tuning in and looking at these wrestlers that are sitting there and then are moved, and then other wrestlers are sitting in, that is not doing absolutely anything for them.
Does nothing for them. Nothing.
Made them look stupid. Because they did
They look
here's
like
Rey
fans.
Mysterio, here's the War Raiders, here's a celebrity, there's LA Knight. And you're like,
were they trying to get like here's all these celebrities and wrestlers and they were mixing them in together? Look, our wrestlers are also like this level of celebrity.
I don't know. I think
Rey Mysterio is a Seth Green level of
absolutely horseshit.
dog.
Like
the worst of
you
dog
have the
shit.
greatest luchador, right? Greatest
of
luchador
all time.
Celebrating his 50th birthday?
Something like that, yeah.
That's how you bring Penta in.
Have him wrestle.
Have him just kick the fuck out of Rey Mysterio.
Have him do something.
Because wasn't Rey Mysterio meant to tag?
So, yeah, there's a bit of debate going around whether apparently this match was supposed to be on the show, New Day versus Rey and Penta.
Yeah.
And it got cut for time because
The Rock.
Rock and Cena's segments ran over.
John Cena can fuck off.
So then, the next thing. Cena. So, right, hang on. Right, we get a Triple H mini promo. Rock, monster promo. Match.
No, it's not even a promo.
Speech.
Like he did at NXT. He main evented NXT.
With a speech.
With Obafemi winning the world title and Julia winning the world title.
Yeah.
But The Rock main evented.
With a speech. And then,
Man.
right, so we're an hour into the show. We've had one match. A match that was fairly boring. Fairly paint by numbers.
It's fine, whatever. It was.
Whatever. None of us are going to remember it in 2 weeks.
Maybe new fans are like, oh, cool, look at the chaos here. This is cool.
Maybe, yeah. But like for us, we've seen it a million times, and it wasn't like there was nothing dynamic about it.
I get why they did it.
It was the right match to put on first. It just wasn't a very good match. That happens sometimes. Like really great wrestlers sometimes don't have great matches. But the problem is they've conditioned the audience to wait for the
the
chaos.
interferences.
Yeah. So then we go and we have all this shite with celebrities at ringside, and then John Cena comes out.
We were past that though. Like so, before we get to the John Cena thing,
it's a big.
they're in LA, right? But if they learn nothing, like no one, celebrity culture is kind of dead. Especially, I think, to wrestling fans.
I don't think wrestling fans care.
That no one gives a shit.
Particularly the international audience.
Like, remember that Raw guest host stuff?
Well, that's like universally recognized as
dog shit.
The worst time in Raw history.
Like WrestleMania in the 80s, and they had like, Elvira at WrestleMania 2, and they had like all these Ozzy Osbourne with the Bulldogs and stuff. People probably ate that shit up. You know why?
Because Cyndi Lauper, like, because you know what I mean?
Because
Muhammad Ali.
Because these people had an air of mystique about them.
Yeah, now they're
everywhere.
They're on Instagram.
So no one gives an absolute dog shit about them.
Yeah, it's not unique to see them.
Exactly. So stop plastering them all over.
Yeah, and like we could give that exact review that we just gave on that segment. We could probably do the same fucking thing for 10 more segments on this show.
Yeah, Gabriel Iglesias. And that's the Netflix tie-in. He has a Netflix special coming up. I understand.
Like tomorrow, or you know what I mean?
But anyway, back to John Cena.
So John Cena comes out and gives the most nothing promo I've ever heard him give.
Yeah, he's going to be in the Royal Rumble.
Oh, cool.
Wow, we knew that was going to happen.
And like he's saying,
am I going to win this? I don't think it's going to happen, guys.
Should I face Gunter? And he's like, listen, how much do they want me to face Gunter? What's the pop for Gunter? What's the pop for this? But you know what I mean? He's there.
You think it is? I think that's what it was.
I think he said like 5 names to see which would get the biggest pop, so then he decides who he's going to wrestle. You know what I mean? That's what it felt like to me. It was like a real Vince thing. Like,
yeah.
He's like, do you want to see me wrestle Gunter? Yay! Do you want to see me wrestle another name? Okay, Gunter.
But was John Cena to, maybe because we're old and like we were in our teenage years, like to kids, to people that are probably in their 20s now.
Yeah. They love
like,
John
was
Cena.
he there, Hulk Hogan?
Yeah, he was, yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
Cena was massive, like.
I know he was massive, but I hated him. Like, I hated him when I was watching him growing up. I was like, I really liked him.
For us at that time.
I liked him until I didn't.
Yeah,
I liked the rapper Cena.
I loved the rapper Cena.
I liked his matches. He had a parking lot brawl with Eddie.
Yeah.
He got like stabbed by Jesus.
Yeah, his first US title run. I really liked that.
With Carly, even though he had the spinner belt, wasn't a big fan of that.
Didn't mind that. I just thought it was like good stuff. Like, this is an up and coming guy who's pretty good.
And then he just kind of overtook wrestling.
Do you know what the problem was? It just went on for so long.
Yeah.
Year after year,
he went up against Kurt Angle, and no one like that. Yeah. No one was going to cheer for
Cena over Angle. Yeah. And like then there was a lot of just Cena fatigue. Like, him and Randy Orton.
Him and Randy Orton
wrestled a million times. Do you know what the funny thing about that is? And I'm going to get to that in the next match we do as well. Orton and Cena must have wrestled 1 million times.
I remember, and I remember being even so disappointed when it got to like 2015 and they were doing the merging of the two titles.
Yeah.
And you're just like, why is it Orton and Cena though? Why? Like,
I've been watching
2009, how many times?
I've been watching this for 6 years.
Yeah, like Breaking Point, they had that match.
But you know what the funny thing was? They had no chemistry together.
Oh, it's so
like, let's keep going back to this rivalry that has no chemistry.
Edge and Cena
They had great chemistry. Yeah.
Punk and Cena. Yeah, all right.
They had like amazing chemistry.
I hate John Cena.
Yeah.
And like, I don't care. I don't want him to win that 17th world title. And if he
to
does,
me, it's a more compelling story if he doesn't,
if he does win it, I want him to win it on the night he retires.
or like a month before,
And then we start. I know, but wins it on the night he retires,
and then gets the belt.
and then the belt. We have an old Royal Rumble 92 situation.
Oh yeah, I'd love that.
The winner, and not so much when
The
Triple H won it,
2016?
yeah. But the Royal Rumble 92 situation, the winner wins this particular belt.
Yeah, that would be a change up
That's
for
fine.
the Royal Rumble.
That's fine. I don't care.
It's in Saudi as well.
Have them lose the Rumble.
Royal Rumble 26 in Saudi Arabia.
We'll get to that. Have them lose the Rumble. Have him lose, because I mentioned this going through, like Money in the Bank doesn't win, Elimination Chamber doesn't win, like King of the Ring, because they get a shot now, doesn't win. Just
beaten in the final,
keeps getting
close,
knocked. And
that's
then,
the story. Like if you're doing a year-long story, that's the story.
Yeah. Or just go Super Saiyan on it, like Super
just
Saiyan,
win every match,
win everything,
and retire undefeated.
Win the belt next week,
and hold it till
and
the night
win
he
the
retires.
Rumble, win the Money in the Bank, so nobody gets to go up against you. But I was like, there's nothing in me that is kind of like, oh, it's John Cena.
Yeah.
Nothing.
So like now we're like an hour and 15 minutes into the show, and like really nothing has happened.
No.
And then we
waiting for the big angle.
Yeah, when we get Liv Morgan's entrance.
Yeah.
And it went on and on. And on.
And on, yeah. Right.
And so then I rewound and I got my timer out.
Yeah.
I was like, I was sat there, I was like, this is going on for ages.
Do you realize though how much of a fucking nerd?
Yeah. Yes.
How much of a fucking loser that makes us sound.
Yes. Oh,
but I completely understand.
Like, because I didn't really, at first I was just like there watching it and I was like, this is taking forever. So I went back and I was like, I'm putting this on a fucking timer. So I timed it. And from when she made her entrance till when the match started was 14 minutes.
From the start of her entrance?
From the start of her entrance to when the bell rang.
Yeah,
it
but
was
they
over 14 minutes.
They played a little vignette in between to kind of.
This was another thing that drove me around the bend.
Why are you playing it after
somebody
an entrance?
An entrance happens.
It's an ad break. It's an American ad break.
I know, but you play a 5-minute vignette. And then you come back and the entrance is still going on. And then you play like a WWE shop WWE, whatever, 30-second thing. And you come back and the entrance is still going on.
Sons of bitches.
And then we get the Rhea entrance, and that's slow and laborious. And this highlights how shit most of the entrance music is now.
I like her music. This is my brutality.
Whatever, they all sound the same. They all sound the same.
Def Rebel, is it?
I think that's the Def Rebel era, yeah. And then like they proceed. This goes back to what I was saying about Cena and Orton, right? How many matches have Rhea, and Liv had this year?
This is their third, is it?
I think it's their fourth.
Okay. You should know this if you're making a point on this.
No, I think it's their fourth. But I think they worked House Show circuit as well.
Yeah, okay. They have no chemistry?
They have fucking no chemistry.
I thought it was an alright match.
It was like the most, again, nothing happening match.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like, it was like, this goes on for 15 minutes and nothing happens and nothing happens.
Well, Rhea wins the title.
I know what I was saying. It goes on for like almost 15 minutes and nothing happens.
And Dom just watches her get eviscerated. Do you think that's because they had so much interference in the previous match?
They couldn't do it here.
They can't be like, oh, there's going to be loads of interference here.
Sure. And so then this match ends...
Rhea, the world champion again.
Yeah, sure. The whole match built to a zoom in where she trash talks Liv for not hitting her move.
Yeah.
Or for blocking the move.
Okay.
It was like big zoom in.
Oh, yeah, when she goes for the Olympian and she stops her and then she looks at her.
And she says, like, you can't get me, whatever. You
can't see me.
Yeah, you can't see me in my Aussie accent.
You can't see me, mate.
And then she does her move twice, pins her, wins the title. Dom gets in, is like, oh, I want to hug you now. You have the belt.
Yeah.
Kicks her in the nuts. Fine, that all
was a
had
good
to
kick.
happen.
That was a good kick.
That was cool.
Rhea bloody Ripley.
Kicks him in the nuts. He didn't kick her in the nuts.
Yeah.
And then she's celebrating. She's going down the ramp. And what happens, Shane?
Dong.
So they hit the dong. And then the American Badass comes out.
Yeah, because the Undertaker's dead.
Yeah, but like, don't hit the fucking dong then.
You have to, because that's what he's known for. I thought, though, when he first came out, and it cuts to Rhea, and she's holding the title, and she's like, I wasn't expecting this. And he just didn't even acknowledge her as he drove out.
Past, yeah.
I was like,
what the fuck's going on?
That just made Rhea look stupid.
But like,
He drove around the ring and came back, and then why?
it was the dumbest thing I've ever seen.
Why?
It was.
You know what?
What the fuck?
What would have been so much better?
If you knocked her down.
Whoa!
Obviously.
That's when Becky comes back.
Obviously, Shane.
And that's like, oh shit, a star is here.
A modern, contemporary, active almost star.
We have our WrestleMania match now. It's Rhea and Becky again. And Becky's not going to be sick this time.
Again, we get, I don't know, a legend, a WWE Hall of Famer, Undertaker. It's like,
no one cares.
To do with anything?
Undertaker looks stoned off his head.
Probably is. I don't
probably
know.
was.
Does he smoke? Maybe he does. Maybe he doesn't. I don't know.
Your man, you're probably smoking with your man that came down with Jay
Travis
Uso.
Scott. Yeah.
But yeah, I was just like, why? This is the nostalgia bit.
Yeah.
This is like the stuff that has absolutely no. Like, if people are tuning in, they're going to go, "That's the Undertaker now."
Yeah. Oh, okay.
I know. I remember the Undertaker. This does nothing for me.
Yeah.
You know.
And then we done nothing for anyone. Didn't do nothing for Rhea. Did nothing for the Undertaker. Did
What
nothing for the audience.
I did kind of somewhat like, and I don't know if the Americans got this during the ad break. We had one of the Jackie is her name, is it?
Yeah.
She was doing she did a cool thing with the Miz. Because the Miz was like, "Oh, John Cena declared for the Royal Rumble. Who cares?"
Yeah, it's like, yes, Miz. You are right,
Miz. I like you now.
Yeah, and then, but it was after this match. It goes up into the box up in the arena, and all the wrestlers are there dancing around, having a good time. Look at us, we're all happy wrestlers having a good time.
Who was there? It was the NXT people, was it?
No, it was like some Bianca was there, Naomi was there.
I don't think they were there.
They were. Otis Tozawa was there.
No, that was a different one.
They were up in the box as well in the background.
Right, I didn't.
Maybe was this not the Bianca? And where was Jade Cargill?
She's down at the performance center apparently,
learning to wrestle.
Yeah, but no, they did one then with Damian Priest and Rhea Bloody Ripley.
Yeah, that was later.
Yeah, that sucked too. And then,
sure, none of these had any substance.
But it was like Damian Priest and Finn Balor in a street fight next week. But if you're just tuning in for the first time and you see Damian Priest, you're like, who are these people?
Yeah.
They could have done a lot more to emphasize.
Like, have you ever heard of a wrestling angle?
Yeah.
It's a street fight. Have them box the head off each other backstage.
If you want to do the interference thing, or don't want to have an interference, have Damian Priest come out and do what Eli Gante did to, I think, Ole Anderson, and like just chain himself to Dom so Dom can't get involved.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then you're like, oh, who's this badass Damian Priest?
Yeah, this guy's a badass. He's willing to chain himself to another man.
And
he has no fear.
Yeah, but like to make sure that Dom doesn't interfere. And then you could have Finn kind of come out and like...
And they don't interfere in the match. They have an old scrap.
They're like, oh, we have him chained to Dom.
Yeah.
We're going to kick the ever-living.
Yeah. And these two have a match next week. Oh my God.
You can tune in.
Yeah.
You know?
Instead of like, here's two people having a chat. For like 90 seconds.
Oh, yeah. Give it up for Rhea Ripley.
That guy is actually wrestling next week. Oh, he's well, okay, cool.
Yeah. Or Chad Gable.
That backstage segment.
Said, I got rid of American Alpha, Otis and Tozawa, and then we see him later on in the show.
Yeah.
But I'm pretty sure that like casual fans wouldn't have a clue what he's talking about.
Then he says, I want you to find me the best luchador. People say I've been having problems with luchadors. Firstly, nobody said that.
Who said that? Who? Who said that?
Nobody said that, Shane.
No one said that.
There's a few times on it. What was the other one I texted you last night where they just made something up?
Oh, Solo butt slamming people with the chair.
Yeah.
And he took out loads of people.
He injured loads of people with this move. I'm like, did he?
Yeah.
If you're watching and you can remember it happening, please leave a comment because I don't think he injured anyone ever with that move.
Or
kayfabe or real.
Yeah. Going on then,
this was the endless amount of backstage segments that nothing happened. There was an endless amount of them.
Like, when did we get to... Yeah, the New Day. That was for Gabriel Iglesias.
Yeah,
Netflix special.
that
Here's
happens.
Otis and Tozawa. Here's the New Day. Oh, sorry, we're out of time. And you're like, I thought the New Day kind of looked. They came across as good heels initially. Now they look like silly comedic characters because no one's going to talk to them.
And why are they with the big fat comedian dude?
Gabriel, fluffy.
Yeah.
Yeah, no one. I get why they're doing the fluffy thing, the Netflix special.
They
but
cut a badass angle, I don't know, less than a month ago, and already they've fallen back into like celebrity comedy shit, like
yeah,
nonsense.
with like Bob Barker stuff.
Yeah, yes, like nonsense.
Main event: Jey Uso and Drew McIntyre.
Travis Scott smoking a big
doobie on the way down.
Big doobie on the way down.
I was surprised by that. I was like, "Oh, it's the attitude there, is it?"
I was surprised it was on the show, but I wasn't surprised Travis Scott was
Travis
doing
Scott
whatever he wanted.
mumble rap song or whatever it was on like that is Raw's new theme song. Sucks.
Yeah.
I feel like an old curmudgeon because they
know,
played the move to the music.
Yeah.
They played that during Raw, and I was like,
as you know,
yes,
I'm a big rap fan. But Travis Scott is like
did not know that.
I thought we spoke about this off cam.
I think you might have said the music that you play in your car is something I wouldn't listen to.
Possibly, yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm a big rap fan. And I find like Travis Scott is like new generation of like really famous rappers. I just don't really.
That's because we're old.
Yeah.
But like wrestling music to me is Limp Bizkit and Drowning Pool. It isn't the Pointer Sisters. I'm so excited.
I'm so happy with that.
Is that the Dynamite actual
it's
song?
fucking awesome.
It is disgraceful.
It's not. It's
Who does
perfect.
that get hyped for?
Me. I got
wouldn't
hyped.
even. I'd never even play that on the
I'm
radio
so
for
excited.
like a cheesy song because we have a cheesy song every single day.
Play it Wednesday morning.
Never.
Get people.
I'm so excited. Will never get played.
people jacked to
It's the
Dynamite.
crunchy fucking advert.
Yeah. Oh, what an ad.
No, terrible. Fucking AEW.
Like I said, I wouldn't have. That wouldn't have been my choice of cheesy 80s song. I would have gone Tears for Fears. Everybody wants to.
No, just go with a good
song. Okay, yeah, but like
Go
also
with a wrestling song. Go with Drowning Pool. WrestleMania 20. If you want to step up, you're gonna
it's
get
like
knocked
that kind of like a real American rock music. I just
You've had your chance to walk away.
How do you remember
Live to see. I was listening to Drowning Pool the other day.
okay. I don't even know who they are.
You don't let the bodies hit the floor.
Yeah.
SummerSlam
that's them.
2001.
Yeah.
Like, how great is it?
Was that on one of the computer games as well? I think that was the entrance one of the computer games.
I don't think so. But how great is it that we have like Ozzy and Black Sabbath for War Games, like Survivor Series?
Yeah, that's deadly.
it.
That's deadly. But like, so then we get main event Jey Uso, who is literally just reduced.
No, all about. Oh, it was a different song. I was
He's just reduced to his fucking entrance now.
yeah, but
he's
like
just an entrance.
That's all you need. Sandman is just an entrance, and I'd still Sandman's cool.
Yeah, but then
I felt like you know that song.
Jay and Drew, like Drew McIntyre.
You know
Am
that
I
song,
wrong in saying-
whatever.
What's that?
Sorry, I got off in the. I went down to the beach, saw Kiki.
Yeah, whatever.
Like, whatever. But there's one where he's like, I saw Zappa, and I was like, "What up, Zappa?" And I was like, "That's cool."
Yeah, it was cool. Yeah,
But it was my United States. Sorry,
whatever.
Yeah, I think the wrong winner.
Definitely the wrong winner. Firstly, but also
All the faces came out on top.
Can I just say, like, would you agree with me if I said that Drew
No.
McIntyre is one of the best wrestlers in the world?
Yeah, probably.
How
He looks like a wrestler.
like how do you have a boring ass 2.5 star match with Drew McIntyre in front of 17,000 fans?
Was it Carmelo Hayes said that like they have like 4 moves? They
Yes.
use-
Yeah. That was one of the best tweets ever, actually.
Yeah.
Shout out to Carmelo Hayes because he was like something about like I know a counter for all 4 of his moves.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like brilliant.
But like, I was looking at that match and I go, how do you not do like what WCW did and like have a fucking cruiserweight fucking going? These are all
spectacle.
A spectacle. These are different types of wrestling.
Look,
let's
do
look
you know
at these boys.
what I always said AEW need to have on every show is a 6-man party match. Just have a 10-minute 6-man party match on every single
that's
show.
Every AEW match.
I'm saying one per show.
Oh,
Do you get me?
yeah.
You do one of those 10 minutes per show where you have 6 guys who can just do deadly shit. It's 10 minutes long.
Yeah.
Why wasn't there one of them on this? Where like some guy tuning into wrestling for the first time sees Dragon Lee do his thing where he dives out and knocks a lad into the crowd.
Yeah.
Why, like, or Braun Breaker runs around and murders a lad with a spear on the outside with the overhead shot. Like, they have so many guys who can do cool shit.
Like get all your shit in.
Have one match where lads get their shit in.
Have a Braun Strowman monster absolutely squash a lad.
Like, we really kind of, in terms of formula, not execution, but in terms of formula, we saw the same match 4 times.
Yeah. Wrestling's meant to be... it could be a bit of a freak show. Like, you know, people want to tune in and see...
We saw the same match 4 times.
Yeah. And, like, I didn't really...
Some people did it better than others.
I didn't buy the finish of Jay, like, you know, doing the Kenny Omega collapsing before he gets hit with the move kind of thing.
Yeah, no, it wasn't the match for that. Kenny Omega did that, like, 52 minutes into...
like, it was from a ripcord lariat from Okada.
Yeah.
You know,
and he barely collapsed under it.
Yeah.
And it was, like, 50... It could have been, like... I think it was 55 minutes into their 60-minute draw.
Yeah.
Like...
Jay was probably just super high from standing beside Travis Scott.
Maybe. His lungs were full. But Jay did it, like, 10 minutes into a match.
Yeah.
I was like, you have to earn that spot, like.
But the wrong winner.
I think so, yeah. I think so.
Logan Paul, is he going full-time now, WWE as well? Did they say something like that?
I don't know.
I don't really pay attention when he's not wrestling.
Yeah, the less I see of Logan Paul, the
I think he's a good wrestler, though.
Yeah, he can do good stuff.
But
like
he's good fun matches.
Like, he's a piece of shit, like, you know.
Yeah.
IRL.
What else?
I don't know. Then we get more not happening segments of celebrities, and
it was just like I was waiting.
At this stage as well, they stopped putting the celebrities' names on the screen, and poor old Michael Cole.
Vanessa Hudgens.
I'd like, how was he remembering all these people? Like, nobody knows who any of these people are. In fairness to Michael Cole, he put in a shift last night or Monday night of like constant exposition.
I would have liked to see Lyra and Dakota Kai for the Intercontinental title.
Should have been on the show.
Like, if you're crowning a new champion, is that the reason why they didn't? Like, I think if you do minute things, it would have been a good show. So if you wipe out the Rock's
70 minutes of nonsense,
Rock's intro,
yeah.
If you take that out and just have him being in the tribal combat, you take out. I'm going to get to this in a second. You take out the Undertaker's entrance, and that's Becky.
Yeah,
and you take out Hogan, and that's Penta.
Yes.
And then you've had a debut.
All of a sudden, the show is 50% better.
You've had a debut.
Yeah.
You've had a re-debut. You've had another champion crown, and you've had The Rock and Roman. Like, is The Rock being serious?
Yeah,
instead of shitting over,
not a speech.
Not a speech.
Shitting on Roddy.
And like that
Cody.
That would have made like
Roddy Codes.
That would have made like the show so much better. At least something happened.
It would have been watchable.
Because I was sitting there. This is fucking 3:00 in the morning now.
Yeah, Shane, and I'm 2 hours. We're over 2 hours in.
Like Hulk Hogan comes out and Jimmy Hart's behind him. Waving a flag.
This was actually my favourite part of the show.
Was watching
Hogan
Jimmy Hart
booed out of the fucking building.
You're the Macho Man. You're like, that ain't gonna work on us fans.
He got Macho Man booed.
Oh man,
like a beloved Macho Man. Got
and like
booed.
he tried to make it out like, oh, it's the politics, and you're like, well, Undertaker's pretty outspoken as well.
Undertaker is very political.
To be fair, he didn't have his music cut where he had to release a promo, but
yeah.
The reason why people don't like you, Hulk, is because you're a piece of shit.
It's the racism.
It's the racism that's all coming back to bite you in the ass. It's how you spoke about the person that your son hurt, and that person was a paraplegic now. It's the way you spoke about that. It's your self-serving attitude.
And it's also a little bit of the politics, I would say, partially. And he's a piece of shit. And nobody wants to see Hulk Hogan.
I wanted to see Jimmy Hart.
I don't have no beef with Jimmy Hart. But
have Jimmy Hart. Have Jimmy Hart cut the promo for Hulk.
Yeah. But also, can I ask you another question?
Yes.
Doesn't Stone Cold Steve Austin have his own beer?
Yeah.
Why isn't Stone Cold Steve Austin's beer the official beer of WWE?
Because they're probably making a rake of money off Real American beer. It's probably a lot more money to be made there.
I don't care.
This is what Endeavour are all about.
I know.
These sons of bitches. And let's get back to these sons of bitches, right? Before we get into the main event, right? So Hogan, that's a money thing, right? Gabriel Iglesias, that's a fucking money thing, right? Saudi Arabia, money thing. Fair enough, they're businesses. This is capitalism, whatever. But The Rock coming out once again, and they're saying this to the fans. Highest gate ever in attendance. First of all, what I would think if I'm at home not watching Raw, and not here. And go highest game. There's only 17,000 people. Maybe not a lot of people. This is highest ever. This doesn't seem that
arena
big.
shows with 30,000 people.
This doesn't seem that big. But you're saying you've paid out of the fucking nose to be here.
Yeah.
And it's happening in the Premier League. People are getting priced out of these experiences now.
Yeah. Big time.
Like the middle class, gone. You have to be rich now to go to this or put yourself in debt.
You have to be making like I don't know, minimum fucking $60,000 a year.
Good
minimum.
job you're on fucking Netflix. And those money grabbing bastards as well. Charge me for the WWE Network.
Shane got charged for the
I got
WWE
charged
Network
for the WWE Network after they messaged me and cancelled it.
on the 8th of January.
And not only, they didn't take it out of euros, they charged me USD, the $9.99 USD. So after it was cancelled on my euro, they charged me in their...
You probably had to pay a fee for foreign transactions.
No, I will. They're not refunding me that, the sons of bitches.
Yeah.
But
fairness, they got back to you quick.
Yeah, because I messaged that something like that would
the network is shut down. How the fuck is that happening?
Apparently it's not. Apparently in some places it's still like someone messaged me saying they have a VPN in Germany and he was watching Nitro.
That's going to be gone soon.
Oh, I don't know. Because of the rights deals or something over there.
I was saving a pint for the kind of overall ending, but I'll do it now.
Fuck the Royal Rumble.
Do you know what this was? This was
shit.
Capitalism distilled. It was pure capitalism from start to finish. It was fucking horrendous.
But that's what it is. Like, we have to accept. There is an acceptance on us.
But okay.
That's the world we live in.
Yes, right. That's fine. But then give me a good fucking wrestling show.
Give me a good wrestling show. That's all I want. Stop telling me how much we paid for this. Even though it's cheaper now on Netflix.
You're a fat comedian lad who tells terrible jokes.
Fluffy. We don't know. Like, to be fair, we don't know if he does terrible jokes. I watched
a few YouTube videos of him. Because I read that this guy...
He was on wrestling. He must be good.
No, I read that this guy is like the highest grossing comedian in the world last year or some shit like that. And I was like, maybe he's funny.
Comedy is subjective. If you're in a room with him, I'd say you'd laugh your ass off.
Yeah, but it was crap.
Experiencing comedy in a setting on TV can always be weird.
It can be, yeah. I've sat in a room with Kieran Dunphy and ES Tate, and neither of those guys are funny.
No, well, that's... You know what I mean? Yeah.
So it's not subjective. They're just objectively unfunny.
Yeah.
But, you know... And they have terrible.
I like Dunphy. Big up.
Yeah, I like Dunphy. Dunphy, if you're watching at home, shout out.
Why aren't you here? Why aren't you here?
Why aren't you here?
We haven't. He hasn't been on like a podcast. He was on the last one.
I would give anything if he did a run in now and give a hot tag.
Give a little hot tag. Like, give his thoughts on it.
Imagine he was here.
That'd be nuts.
And he just like came in and gave a hot tag. We're on to CM Punk and Seth Rollins.
I like this match.
Let me say
it was the best thing of the night.
Of course it was, by a country mile.
Yeah.
But also, like, they say, Michael Cole did say that this is one of the most important wrestling matches in the history of the business. I was like, well, firstly, no, it's not.
Is this a WrestleMania main event?
No.
This is like I heard people saying this is one of the biggest events since WrestleMania ever.
It's not. No, it's not. It's not.
And like this, and they've entrusted it to CM Punk.
Yeah, look, that's great, and obviously that was the match to put in the spot. Without blowing a WrestleMania main event. You know what I mean?
Do you get worried when you see CM Punk wrestle?
Yeah, I do every time. There's a sense of danger surrounding every match he does.
But that's great as well.
Not only every match he does, every movement he does.
Yeah, every move he does. Every time he takes it, I'm like, no, Phil.
He's going to...
He's like, I'm 46, my body is broken. And I'm like, I can so relate. And that's why he's the best in the world. Because every time he takes a move, you're like, that looked like
terrified.
It fucking killed him.
And like, also...
Thanks right back for fucking him up.
He could hit the ropes and get injured.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's not as if like it has to be a move.
But to be fair, like, you know, his matches that he's had this year, strap match,
he's had
Hell in a Cell, War Games.
What I will say is, of his singles matches in this WWE run, to me, this was the worst of them. Now, that doesn't mean it was bad. It wasn't bad.
All his single matches, he's had 3.
Yeah, they were all... Oh, no, do you know what? Not strap match. I hated the SummerSlam match, didn't I?
The Hell in a Cell.
No, I loved the Hell in a Cell. That was fucking unbelievable.
It's not even a singles match, though. He hasn't had any other singles matches, has he?
Has he? No, probably not.
They're like, first time he's wrestled on Raw in 11 years.
Yeah.
And like, oh.
And like, I thought like it was an okay match. But again, Seth Rollins is a dullard.
Don't say that. People are going to give out to us again.
It's true. Seth Rollins is a dullard.
He puts in like his.
Also, how long was his fucking entrance? My God.
Like the music stopped and then came back on.
It started like 4 times. Just get on with it.
I thought it was a great match. The finish is the exact same finish as the Moxley.
Yes, I tremendously enjoyed that. And obviously,
Did you notice that at the time?
No, I knew I'd seen it somewhere.
I noticed it.
And I had to check. And then I was like, shit, yeah, it was the Moxley match. And then, to me, I thought straight away, that's how, if hopefully him and Roman are main event in WrestleMania.
That's how you think they're going to finish.
That's how you think they're going to finish.
Falsy, a little falsy.
What a falsy that would be.
What a falsy.
The Shield.
He's after.
He did Mox with it.
Yeah.
He did set with it.
He brought them in.
Yeah.
He's going to take them all out.
Exactly. And then Roman kicks out.
Well,
maybe he does. He could finish it.
But then, once again, no big angle at the end. Just
No
like,
big angle.
that was the show. See you next
I
week.
spent the whole show waiting for an angle. Let's just think about over the last 6 months in WWE.
They've been shitting out angles.
Shit now, good angles.
Yeah.
The Kevin Owens, multiple angles with Kevin Owens were brilliant.
Yeah.
The Big E and New Day angle was excellent.
Everyone seemed to have a purpose, and everything that they were doing seemed to have been somewhat intertwined with things other people were doing.
You asked me a question.
I did.
On WhatsApp.
Did I?
And I'm going to ask you this question.
Don't be revealing our secret sexy chats.
Yeah. What colour underpants are you wearing? No. Who was this show for?
I don't know. It's not for fans.
It wasn't for casuals.
It wasn't for fans, and
It wasn't for the faithful fans. It wasn't for casuals.
yeah, and not even casuals, like as in people who sometimes watch wrestling.
It certainly wasn't for a new fan.
A new fan, yeah, like a new fan.
Because there was no hook. There was nothing to come back for. All baby faces won. There was no angle. There was no build to any match that we know is happening in the future. There was nothing. It was an over 3-hour show where basically nothing happened.
Like I see people arguing on it was a spectacle, and it will go back more to Raw as we know it.
But this
next week, we were like, yeah, but this is what
tonight was the night
to do that. Like
Yes.
this is what we do.
Tonight was the night.
It's like this is what we do, and you're like if you watch a bad pilot episode of a show,
You're never going back.
You're never going to go back.
I would think there was a lot of people who were checking this out because it was heavily pushed on the Netflix home screen, and they were checking it out.
Or the next day, or whatever.
Yeah, and nothing happened. Ever.
I seen something funny.
Honestly, I'm going to say, I think it was one of the worst wrestling shows I've ever watched.
Yeah, like I like the matches I enjoyed. I enjoyed Punk and Rollins.
2 of the matches I thought were pretty rubbish.
But I think
the Bloodline match was...
I think as fans, we might have overhyped it, but they overhyped it.
Well, we're not... Yeah, they
overhyped it. Last time...
Can I ask you another question, actually?
Yeah.
Do you think Seth Rollins and CM Punk should be having a better match than what they had?
I enjoyed that
think they
match.
should.
I enjoyed that match.
But we're talking about CM Punk.
But this is
here.
going back to what we said with Drew McIntyre and CM Punk. We said you didn't like their strap match. Or you didn't like their... Sorry, they had a singles match, then they had a strap match, then they had the Hell in a Cell.
The strap match was fine, except I didn't like the stipulation.
But you didn't like the singles match they had.
No.
And I was like, yeah, but it's going to build to something. You have to ingrain our trust. I said that at the time, at the summer. Okay. And then what did we get? An all-timer match.
All-timer Hell in a Cell, yes. But...
They can't give it all.
I know, but the main event on the Netflix special isn't the time for that.
True.
That's the time to do your best match.
True.
The first night on Netflix.
I would just say, and whether
those two, because I call Rollins a dullard, and he is a dullard. You, Mr. Rollins Stan account that commented on all our stuff. He's a dullard. The man is just dull.
Thanks for finally standing up behind your comments there.
Yeah.
Normally you're all over giving people shit on Twitter, but no, you stayed away from all the stands.
Wanted to do this. I wanted to look him in the eye.
He's not looking at the podcast.
Look me in the eye. Your favourite wrestler, Seth Rollins, is an overrated dullard.
That's fatherless behaviour, and you know it.
Yes. And tune in next week for more Seth Rollins bashing.
The Seth Rollins Legacy podcast.
Yeah. Let's do a Seth Rollins Legacy podcast.
Let's do a Shield Legacy podcast.
I'd be well up for that.
Because I have a lot of things to say about Mox.
Yeah.
Hopefully OTT never book him again.
No, I'll defend Mox.
Because then I'll have to say hello.
A couple of things recently.
No,
that's not the best match they could have. It was fine.
They're going to have a better match.
I hope to God they do, but that was the night to do it.
I didn't enjoy Raw's debut on Netflix.
It was rubbish.
Is that because I am A big mark, probably.
No, it's because you like professional wrestling, Shane, and that wasn't professional wrestling.
It wasn't.
It was a 3-hour ad.
I liked Punk and Rollins. Tribal Combat, we've seen that type of match
And
from Roman a million times.
That one was, it was the Bloodline match done worse.
It was WrestleMania 40.
But that was better.
Yeah.
Way better.
But it was something that we've seen already.
Like, Roman has done that match, exact same match, with people that are a million times better than
There was
Solo.
no nuance to anything they fucking did.
It's WWE, they don't do nuance.
They do nuance. They do it now.
I know, yeah.
Take me back to the Paul Levesque era. We're in the Netflix era now. The Paul Levesque era was so
my favorite
short.
thing on the show was the
Ruthless aggression.
the blatantly obvious politicking between The Rock and Triple H, because that's what it was. It was a who has a
hoo-ha
bigger power backstage. That's all it was, and it was crap.
Yeah.
It was like so disappointing because.
But I'm on Triple H's side. That's all I want to say.
I find it so weird. I'm also on Triple H.
I'm not on the Rock side.
Yeah, I do, like, which is, you go back to 98.
Yeah.
Like, you hate Triple H and you love The Rock.
You go back to like the Authority.
Oh yeah, you
like
go back, like any other
Seth
time.
Rollins in the Authority, you get fucked. J&J
Any other
Security.
time
they're
in wrestling history, while The Rock and Triple H are active, we know Triple H was an active backstage politicker,
active bastard.
and this is the only timeline that exists where The Rock could be like
The least cool
of those two.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And yeah, it was just a shit show. Like.
Triple H was the hero all along.
That's crazy.
Triple
Like,
H,
what timeline are we living in?
Triple H was the Severus Snape.
Saudi
of wrestling.
Royal Rumble 2026.
You can get fucked.
Get fucked.
I'm still going to watch it, but you can get fucked. Yeah, you're going to have to review it.
No, that's 2026.
Yeah, we're still going to be going.
I know, but I'll take a day off.
No, okay. Yeah, I can't.
I can't condone that.
The first Royal Rumble. It's not that I can't.
I don't mind the Royal Rumble outside of America.
You know,
we don't live there. I don't care about America.
Like Usyk and Fury, they're having fights in Saudi Arabia. It's just, I don't know. It's the money. It's capitalism again. They're taking in the money.
It's like every WWE show in Saudi is just dead.
Sometimes it feels like a non-canon event.
More so a few years ago, yeah.
Yeah.
But
why would they want this Royal Rumble? They've already had the greatest Royal Rumble of all time.
Is this to
With Braun Strowman.
Is this to soften us for when they announce a WrestleMania in Saudi?
Yeah. Wrestle Arabia.
Saudi Arabia.
It's kind of like wrestling. That's been a wrestling show. Our next show is going to be next week in Saudi Arabia, live.
Yeah, we're getting paid bags of cash.
Bags of cash.
Can't wait.
Loads
Big
of
up
money.
Saudi.
Go check out the OTT YouTube page as well for OTT Insider, where myself and Morro and ES Tate. He hasn't appeared on the Wrestling Fan Wrestling Show yet, but he makes an appearance on that. He kind of funds the whole thing.
Let's just hope Kieran Dunphy returns to us.
Maybe he'll return. Maybe Marta will return.
The Beast Martus is welcome anytime.
You're always welcome, and you're always welcome to like, subscribe, and comment. Actually, I have a few comments in regards to the show. That was my sign off and everything. Fuck. A few people have commented in regards. No one replied on Twitter because.
It's a dead platform.
Well, for us in particular. Darren Byrne said, very disappointing. Not one exciting or entertaining match. New drone camera is cool, though.
Fair.
Oisin McCarthy, the show was okay, bar the absolute fool The Rock made of Cody. This is pretty much what we said. You said dog shit.
That was me, yeah.
That was just getting back at me for saying AEW was dog shit last year.
This is exactly how I felt about the Raw show.
Robert the Great one said, for it to be a 3-hour wrestling show and only have 4 matches is poor. I actually think it was 3.5 hours. Evan O'Rafferty, 4 matches in 3 hours is disgraceful.
Correct.
And
4 singles matches.
Rowan the Analyst, R_N80. Really good presentation, good matches, but didn't sell itself to a new audience.
Correct as well. Good
that's pretty much everything that we've said. And these are all wrestling fans because they're part of our Wrestling Fan Wrestling Show ecosphere. So
and they comment on our stuff on the internet.
Yeah,
so like
fans. we share the same insights.
Yeah.
Wow.
Fuck you, WWE.
Yeah. And AEW.
And Netflix.
Yeah, fuck you, AEW. It's been the Wrestling Fan Wrestling Show.
Tony, I'm sorry, take me back.
He's a money mark.